Okay.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yes, yes. Could you see your chart, ma'am?
Yes, sir, I
Yeah.
can see it.
Please explain me. Could you please explain all of us frankly speaking?
Okay, 1 minute.
Sure, sure. Take it time.
Yes, sir. There is a use case diagram.
Mm-hmm.
In left hand side, there is a client
Right.
who order food, who
Mm-hmm.
order wine,
Mm-hmm.
and the waiter serve the food and serve the wine. After that, the client eat food and drink wine and
Uh-huh.
pay it to the cashier.
Uh-huh.
And waiter order to the chef. Give place
Uh-huh.
the order. Chef make the food and serve
Right.
give it to the waiter, and then waiter serve the food to the client, and then client eat it, and then pay for the food and pay for the wine to the
Sure, sure.
cashier.
Yes, yes. Cashier should be on the right hand side.
Hmm.
And other
Okay.
thing, like we should have a complete, box. The dotted lines won't do.
Okay.
And could you see these lines, right? They are
Mm-hmm.
starting from in between, right?
Mm.
Lines should, reach here.
Okay.
Arrows are not needed because we believe arrows, like, this is what he's initiating the things, means
Mm-hmm.
as an person, right? So as in
Mm-hmm.
my primary actor who initiate things, that's also generic idea.
Mm-hmm.
These dotted lines are not a normal convention. Dotted lines are for virtualization, if I may speak in those terms. Virtualization is basically, where we say a virtual computer, like cloud computers initiating something,
Okay.
like these things we can't touch and all those scope of system, right? So we put
Okay.
dotted line for those.
Okay.
Let's not go there because
Mm.
you're not going to have these scenarios at least for first few months. But yeah, you should have a
Mm.
complete box. Okay, and you just
Mm.
down two lines, right? So two
Mm.
complete box is needed because that's what it's
Mm.
it's a closed scope. We don't work with
Mm.
open scope, right? Open scope is
Mm.
like we keep discussing those kind of scenario. So
Mm.
even philosophically it's not right.
Okay.
um, uh, can I,
Okay.
could you understand what I'm trying to say here, ma'am?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can understand.
So,
Thank you,
these
sir.
are the some things. But yeah,
Mm.
the sequence is really good. And,
Mm.
overall, you corrected all the mistakes. Thanks a
Mm.
lot.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Lina ma'am. So, okay. Where's that? I already got that, right? Just give me a minute. Okay, this is here. Lina ma'am, could you see yours?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Could you please explain?
See, the guest first orders the food, and
Mm-hmm.
then wine is an extended. It's put it in the extended bracket. He might not.
Might not. Correct. Very correct.
Confirms the order of the food goes to the waiter as well. That's why that is connected. And
Right.
he confirms the order, which waiter also gets the message of confirmation.
Sure.
Now the waiter actually hold on. Uh, where is this? I left a box which is the chef cooks the food. I think I left it. There should have been one box here which he gives this to the chef. Oh, cooks the food. No, he's there. Yeah.
Well, that's okay, ma'am. That can happen outside the scope of the system.
Then he serves the food.
Right.
And serve the wine is also part of the. I should have put the arrow up there.
That's okay.
Serve food and serve wine is extended again and extend into extended. If he ordered the wine, he would serve the wine and he'll drink. The same thing for eat food. Now
Right.
the guest pays for the food and pays for the fine, which is again extended. But what I did is I put pay for food as an included action, except payments, and arrowed it to the cashier.
Very right, very right. And this is what is expected. I believe you're up and running as far as use case diagram goes. The even scope you've created clearly. There are a couple of these are small things which are not necessary, frankly speaking, because the interaction between secondary actor we normally don't show, and it's already assumed because he could.
I should have put the waiter. When he cooks the food, waiter should also have been connected.
Right, that's true. Otherwise, in the box you can say confirm order to cook's food, because when you confirms order, the system tells chef.
And orders or pass it on to the chef. I should have put
So
it
the system can pass it on chef. So there could be one arrow from confirms order to cook's food.
I
Or,
have
to
a question.
chef.
So confirm the order and
Yeah.
pass it on to chef should have been in two parts, like a division, like part one division.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. Yes, that's perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, so you got all the concept clear, right? Even the scope is great, and then you're ready in terms of use case diagram. You nailed it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Let's get to we got one from Dipti ma'am. We got one from Madhuri ma'am. Okay, so let me bring out the Dipti ma'ams, and then we'll have a look at Madhuri ma'ams. Okay, okay. Let me stop share here. Start share. Yes. Wow. Yes, Dipti ma'am.
Yes,
Could you
sir.
please,
Yeah. So
please,
here,
please go ahead.
yeah. So here we have customer as the primary actor, and
Right.
primary of the first use case would be to order the food, and the
Right.
extended use case would be order the wine. He can
Oh,
order the wine or he cannot order the wine.
right.
And then once he has ordered the wine, then
Uh-huh.
the waiter takes the order. Waiter will be on the right hand side of the system.
Right.
He's the secondary actor, so waiter
Right.
will take the order, and then
Right.
he gives the order to the chef will cook
Uh-huh.
the food,
Uh-huh.
and after that waiter will serve the order.
Right.
Waiter will serve, and if the wine is ordered, then serve wine will be the extended use case.
Sure. Just one small problem, ma'am. Serve food should come down on cook food, or you can altogether delete that shape thing. Means sir, waiter know how to where to get that food from and all those things as well.
Yeah.
So cook food is a bit below than serve food, which is theoretically not correct.
Okay.
Could you
Yes.
understand that? Means
Yeah.
we have to
Because of the
serve the food
space
after cooking food,
constraint.
right?
There was a space constraint, but yes,
I know, I can understand. But yes, the color is really good. Means you even define the scope clearly, and I believe you can understand. Means like Leela ma'am, you're also good to go.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. And you keep doing it. Please go ahead.
So, I mean, if the wine is ordered, then serve wine will be the extended use case of serve food. And then the actor, another use case for customer would be to eat food, and
Right.
drink wine would be the extended use case. And
Right.
then pay for food and pay for wine. It would be the extended use.
Perfect.
And
Great.
then there is a cashier who will accept the payment. So it will link to the cashier.
Sure. Perfect. You're good to go as far as understanding these use case things goes. That's really great. And this is from, I believe, wait a minute.
Deepika, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Deepika ma'am, please go ahead.
Thank you. So I have on left side the client and
This is mine.
oh no, this is not mine. I'm sorry. I have another page. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So this is mine.
Mm-hmm.
So
you ordered wine. The waiter served wine. Okay, order food, receive order. So chef will cook the food. Okay.
So sometimes the chef himself brings the food. That's why I put.
मैम थोड़ा जम्बल्ड अप हो गया है ये क्योंकि क्या है ना, एज आई टोल्ड यू राइट, देयर इज अ सीक्वेंस फ्रॉम टॉप टू बॉटम, राइट. सो मैं यहाँ पे लेके जाऊंगा ये ये देखिए, ऑर्डर फूड फर्स्ट है, बाद में ऑर्डर वाइन है, ये ऐसा दिखता है, राइट. सो ये जो है ना, ये एक्टर ऊपर गया तो बहुत गड़बड़ हो गया अपना, राइट. कुड यू सी दैट?
Yeah.
That's not the convention, and normally ये क्या होता है फिर, ये प्राइमरी की सेकेंडरी है, and all these really senior guys watching the presentation will eat you like anything. Means they'll ask you
Oh.
very difficult question, believe me.
So
उनको
you
अपने को
cannot
कुछ
put
भी,
up and down, just left
yes
and
ma'am,
right.
yes ma'am, you need to get it over here on the right hand side,
Okay.
right, and one is on the this is your right, but only here ना थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गया अपना, ये ऐसा ऊपर डाला ना. So see, we are presenting this to very senior people like CEOs, cities of the world, and these guys are like very crude, I'll not say cruel guys, let me put it that way. These guys are really cruel. If you present something like this to those guys, they'll eat you alive. Means they'll ask you some very difficult question, and at the end of the day you'll say, okay, let me come again. So I saw that. So it's like it's missing the point. क्योंकि क्या है ना कि you are trying to explain a functionality to them, right? So उसका कुछ whatever we say, we have certain philosophical rule, we have certain theoretical rules, we need to stick to them,
Okay.
right? So each and every functionality जो sequence है ना, वो sequence जरूरी है, and the overall representation है, because ये thought process है, right?
Yeah.
Normally thought process पेपर और पेन पे डालने का बहुत कम तरीका है. This is one of the most matured way of presenting your thoughts on a paper, believe me. And once you get to know this is really good. Means you're drawing a diagram from your functionality, whatever you heard, right? So this is like somebody's else thought process you're putting down on a paper. So the symbolism, the overall sequence does matter a lot, or these things create a really bad impression. Again, there's nothing wrong or right here, because these are all evolved methodologies, right? There's
Yes.
science attached to it, but still people can tell you, if you add your own artistic way and all those things, that's okay. But if you really go against the symbolism, then it hurts to overall thought process clearly nahi transfer ho pata hai, right? Could you understand me, ma'am?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
why, if I put the waiter on the right side?
Yes,
so
ma'am. That's the
inside
first
box, other things are okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now the sequence is from top to bottom. So order food first, then serve wine. Okay, that's okay. Order food should be on the top. Or order wine, serve wine, then order food. Cook food इसके नीचे, cook food इसके नीचे आएगा, right? Order होने के बाद cook होगा, right? Right? ये sequence बराबर है, ये sequence थोड़ा गड़बड़ है. So first order food, then cook food, and then serve food, right? And they need food, and these things. Okay, I'll bring up Lina ma'am. Lina ma'am का उन्होंने काफी किया. Means she almost copied it from whatever we. So उनका भी let me share that thing. I really like this way because ये किधर गया वो? Okay, this one. Could you see this thing? It almost look like similar to whatever diagram we were looking at, right? Could you see Lina ma'am's use case diagram, madam?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so have a look at this. Means guest orders food, orders wine. Extend means food के साथ वो order wine किया या नहीं किया. It's his option, right? Then he confirms the order with the waiter. ठीक है. So waiter के बाद confirm करने के बाद वो food serve करता है. और बीच में waiter chef को बताता है कि नहीं, that's internal problem. या वो भी बता सकते कि waiter tells chef cook the foods, then chef cooks the food, and then waiter serves the food, then serves the wine. Food के बाद या साथ में wine दे देगा. It कभी-कभी wine पहले आता है, कभी बाद में आता है, depending on the country, region and everything. So we can live with that. And then we eat food, we drink wine, right? So ये जो कहानी है ये साथ में चलेगा, eat food, drink wine, whatever. And then he pays to the cashier restaurant, pay for the wine, pay for the food, accept payment and all those things. So yeah, it's even ma'am gone ahead and actually put down that extended and included type of relationship, which means that we have learned each and everything. You know that madam का video जो मैंने भेजा था आपको, you know, वो madam का उन्होंने पूरा का पूरा, you know, thoroughly she used whatever you know that madam have guided us, right? So those things. Okay, so could you please draw it again, ma'am?
Sure, I will.
Yeah, and please don't feel bad. This is how we are learning. Okay, again, there's nothing wrong and right, but only thing is that we should be correct in the, you know, philosophical and symbolic sense, because we are trying to you know, portray somebody's thought process. Even here, the VPHR whom I'm gone and you know, received the requirements from, right? So something like that sort. ठीक है?
Okay.
Sure. और किसी का था क्या? Let me.
Sir, Deepika,
Yes.
I think I sent in the morning.
You said that, right? Just a minute. Huh?
Yeah.
दीपिका मैम, आपने कब भेजा था मैम?
I sent in the morning your personal WhatsApp, not in the training one.
No, okay. Let me get that thing. I need to send that one. एक minute. Could you please send it in the group, ma'am, if you could?
I have a picture in mind. Can I start sharing maybe from
Yeah,
there?
please. I'll stop. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely, ma'am. That's well and good. No problem. I have stopped the sharing. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay,
That's-
thank you. Can you see now?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
this is
Oh,
mine.
oh,
Oh no,
Okay.
this is no, this is not mine.
this is Madhuri, ma'am's. Yes.
No, this is not mine. Let me see. Can you see my sir now?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I tried, but I'm not sure. So let's do
No, see, we are here to learn, ma'am. So please, you know, don't feel bad. And, you know, this is how we keep learning, right? This is how we keep growing. So please, could you please explain?
left
Ma'am, you're
side is
missing this, you haven't drawn the scope, right? But yeah, please go ahead.
oh yeah, square is not there. I see. Yes,
Yes, sure.
it has
Please go
to
ahead.
be. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So customer is on the left side.
Right,
He ordering the wine and like drink with the ordered food, right? Then
right,
the
perfect.
waiter on the top is like receiving the order,
Mm-hmm.
and then waiter is the one coming to serve the food.
Right,
Then chef in the middle, he is cooking the food,
okay.
and the client is the one eating the food and drinking the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I see a waiter is the serving the wine if he ordered it then. And the
Right.
cashier is the one paying the for food, and the cashier is accepting customer is the one paying for the food, and the cashier is the one accepting the payment all the way in the bottom.
Sure, ma'am. Let me tell you, you know, couple of suggestions. The scope of the, you know, that rectangular box is a need. There's a bit of sequence, you know, contradiction with serve food before cooking food, because, you know, we normally go from top to bottom, right?
Oh yeah.
So yes, so cook food should come first, and then serve food should come below that.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Okay.
And yes, I can understand. No problem. And this is how we learn, right? Please don't feel bad. This is how, you know, we learn. And you know, could you please read out the diagram again?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And you know, we can discuss it in the next, you know, these things. See, we are trying to portray somebody else's thought process. This is an art, right? So there's nothing right or wrong. But we need to use those symbols. We need to really use the way the, you know, tools has been evolved, right? Philosophically or, you know, scientifically, whatever you want to, you know, portray it as. So we want to use those symbols correctly. Because whenever we are presented these very senior guys, CEOs and CTOs of the world, so that they can sanction this product or whatever, you know, you're trying to present to these guys, right? So we are discussing this with very senior people, and you know, they are very cruel in terms of if they couldn't understand, and if you have any, you know, what you can say, non-conformers with the tool symbolism, they'll really, basically disturb the whole thing, believe me. So we need to stick to these, some of the rules or the philosophies, how the tools have been evolved, and we need to build it that way. Okay.
Okay.
Again, there's
You
no right or wrong. But yes, I
you
believe we've learned a lot, and yeah, we will keep learning. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
you draw in the Word or the PowerPoint?
Whatever. Even pen and paper is okay. No problem.
Okay, I will do that again then.
Yeah,
Thank you
only
so much.
we should convey the thought process clearly in terms of those rules which have these tools have been evolved and all, right?
Okay.
So
I'm
वो
gonna
एक
take
thought
it.
process अपना clear रहेगा. If you're really in line with the thought process evolved for representing thoughts, then you can do it clearly and crisply.
Okay. Thank you
Okay,
for.
sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thanks a lot. It's really great effort. Great effort. Everybody means yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
I'll stop your share, ma'am. Okay, and
Okay.
let me start with no, not this one. Again,
I have,
yes, ma'am.
sir, I have also shared that attendance management system use case diagram, which I missed last time
Uh,
on your WhatsApp. On-
could you please share in the group, because
Yeah.
that phone is giving a bit problem to me, so I couldn't,
Oh, okay.
pardon me for this.
Yeah, no problem. So, shall I share my, can you see my screen?
Yes, wow,
So this is the use case diagram for State Farm attendance management system.
right,
We have the employee as primary actor on the left hand side. He's
right.
accessing the iris scanner
Hmm.
and it is marking the attendance, which is an included use case.
Perfect,
But if it is a new employee, it would be an extend use case, new
right,
employee sign up.
perfect,
And then he has access to his own employee attendance report.
right,
So, the employee attendance report will have a condition that, it should be his own report.
perfect.
And then he has the access to his own leave report. And
Wow,
then
great.
similarly, we have the HR who has the access to the iris scanner and the attendance reports.
Sure. Actually, HR is not needed to have access to the iris scanner, but as an employee, he can, go and scan his iris as well. But, this arrow need not to be there,
Okay, I'll do
because there's a system, right? This system is basically inbuilt supporting the scanner, and it'll get the data from iris scanner and, put it in the system somewhere.
Okay.
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 So yeah, now this is perfect way. Means explain the includes, extends. You explain the even report pulling, leave reporting and all those things. It's really great work, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Yes. Yeah. Could you stop share? I can. Okay. Do you have anything else to display? No. Okay.
No, nothing else to display. I was actually, I have missed first three sessions of this class
Yes,
before
ma'am.
I actually enrolled myself.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
was just going through that second session, and there you were discussing about the BA definition of
Uh-huh.
business analyst.
Sure.
I was just, so can I tell you in my words
Yeah, please, great. See, I'll bring up that slide. This is really important slide. Yeah,
Yeah,
please go.
because I missed those sessions, so I was
I
just
know, I
going
can
through the
understand, ma'am.
recording.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, what does the BA do? In my words, BA basically understand the vision by the stakeholders. They try to
Uh-huh.
understand the vision and then they translate and elicit those requirements, that vision into the requirements. It elicits
Requirements.
that requirement
Perfect.
into the requirements to be,
Perfect.
to be given to the development team or the technical team.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
what kind of validation they are doing? Because in that you have discussed that planning, defining, eliciting,
Mhm.
and validating, analyzing, and documenting.
Right. This one, right? You're talking about. Let me tell you again. Yeah, this is really great. You're talking about these things, ma'am.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
Okay. The
What is
validating,
validating?
yes. Yes, I'll explain it to you. Don't worry. See, the way it works, the example which we normally follow, right? I'm an employee working at Infosys. I go with my sales manager to a meeting at State Farm. We are trying to enhance their attendance management system. Now, how do we validate this requirement, right? We have certain discussions during the meeting. It can be a Zoom call, Google Meet, or a personal meet for that matters. Means I don't know how soon or how late this COVID will go, but let's assume in case if you go to a personal meeting also, what we do, we normally take a voice recorder with us, right? And whatever I key in as a requirement, as an at a personal level, me as an BA myself validate those requirements against the voice recording, so that I have not missed anything or I have not misunderstood anything. This is the first step. Second step, there are reviews to this document called SRS. So SRS document will be reviewed by a sales manager, whoever accompanies to the team. Or if there are a couple of other BAs, those BAs will also help you to validate this requirement. So as a team at Infosys, we validate the requirement. This is a second round of review. And then third, we present the SRS to the VPHR of the State Farm or the team at State Farm via such meeting, Google Meet, Zoom Meet, or personal if possible. I don't know, when it could be possible and all, but still. So whenever you present this thing, whenever you present this SRS, they will review and approve it then and there, or they will reject the complete, product, project, or support proposal. This is how it happens. So first review, self-review. Second review within my Infosys team. Third review is basically whenever you present this thing to the all major stakeholders. So it will be something like BA presenting it, because you own this SRS document, right? You present this SRS document within a conference, saying that this is what a new project of enhancing attendance system for State Farm, and the client is also here, so he'll confirm if there are any misunderstanding, any missing points or any further addition if they wants to, because he is a client, right? So we are open for additions. So the way we go ahead, we try to gather those requirements from them, and then and there we'll get it approved. So that's how it happens in a real scenario, and we'll go to that slowly. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So here we are validating, like the self-review with the sales manager and with the client. That is the
Right, that's right. So this is three step review process.
Three-step review.
Okay. Anybody else have any question? This is really, good that you brought it up, because this is really a crucial, slide or crucial process. And, it's really, thanks to you for putting that efforts, because this will make sure that you'll be a great BA, believe me. And this is how we, walk the talk. We really learn this with the, with whatever processes have been guided to the BA. And this is how you'll be the great BA, believe me. That's all. So, anybody else have any confusion on this?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's take a step ahead. This is how we do as an BA, right? As a BA, we'll take the requirements from a client, we validate it, we create SRS. Now, to explain each and every such requirement, I draw this use case diagram, right? I could draw activity diagrams, I could draw flow charts, but then I have a better tool at my hand called use case diagram, right? And we have already seen how to utilize use case diagram in the correct fashion. Means there are such diagrams floating around the net which are complicated and which really defeats the purpose, because use case diagram is a great evolved tool over last 20-30 years. And there are some philosophy, there's some thought process included in this, and we are trying to present this thought process very clearly. So that's why we had this session of correcting the use case diagram. Just to reiterate the importance, this is really an evolved modern tool. We have really evolved modern softwares also to support those tools, as we discussed. If you are working with some company like Google, Microsoft, IBM, and Infosys, some teams, they get the IBM's rational rows. This is one of the most costliest and modern use case diagram tools created by the forefathers of unified modeling languages. Okay, there was a company called OMG, Object Method Group. which have devised this UML, Unified Modeling Language, and notifications. There are around 36 odd diagrams. You have use case diagram, sequence diagram, module diagram, and various other diagrams. We are concentrated on use case diagram because this is how BA does, right? We also seen the activity diagram, but rather than activity diagram, I'll go with the use case diagram because this is most evolved tool. And you draw these use case diagram with the tools whatever available, because Infosys might give you something like Lucid charts. If not, it can basically give you a pen paper, and pen paper is there with you, and you can draw these diagram on pen paper. So there's nothing wrong in pen paper or Microsoft Word or PPT. Whatever you feel right, you can draw these use case diagram and present the thought process of a client called requirement, the business vision. Sorry, any question for me? Okay, I thought I heard somebody. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Anybody want to say something? I couldn't. Let me get that attention. Hello. Anybody want to say something? Okay. Let me continue. So what we do, we try to understand the vision of a client, try to convert it into the requirements, and then we'll present the use case diagram. Right now, this is what we learned, and this is one of the most difficult, one of the most difficult tools, or one of the most scientific tool we are going to learn. The other tools are quite simple. Okay, so let's go step by step, in depth, right? And this is what we all included in the use case diagram. We have seen this. We have done this workshop. Now, okay, this is okay. This is also we have done. Now we talked about this BRD. I'll just revise again in a normal. Sorry, go ahead, please. Any question?
Yeah, sir. I think I'm not sure. Did we discuss the high-level diagrams?
The handheld diagram?
No, high-level diagrams, HLDs.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. High-level diagrams is yet to come.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I haven't missed
Sure. No problem. I can understand. And you can ask any question at any time. Please don't, hold yourself for that. Because, the way I go, I take the difficult most part first so that we can revisit whenever we feel. And it will make, our thought process crisp and clear. The easier thing, we can keep it for the last, because those are really, conceptual diagrams. We talked about HLD, and they are the part of the, SRS document, right? So let's try to understand these name of the documents, right? These name of the documents are uniform across industry, but some companies, they might feel like I called SRS BRD and, so on and so forth. It happens. Or if you're working at, some company like State Farm, where you create these BRDs. These are business requirement document. These are also created by the analyst predominantly, but these are working at a client. And the way normally Guru School work, you will be employed at Infosys, TCS, Wipro, and such consulting firms. So the way I am training you is to enable to work like in this company and try to understand the processes there, right? So normally in Infosys, Wipro, TCS type of company or IT companies where you work as an analyst, you get this document called BRD. And BRD can be as simple as an email sent to you with some, bulleted point requirements, or a BRD can be a picture, like, we shared this use case diagram, right? It can be a picture sent to you with the, number of bulleted points saying these are the requirements, this is what we want to do. And this is how this can be progressed, right? Most of the time you get an email from your sales manager or CEO, CTO saying, hey, BA, I got this as a requirement from a client, this email, could you please, throw light on that and, take it forward. So what you might take it forward, you'll try to understand requirement, try to do a bit of research, say that if somebody says, I want to enhance my attendance management system with biometric scanner, ID scanner and whatnot. So what we'll do, we'll try to understand, okay, so attendance management system, which company is State Farm? So I'll just go on the website. I'll try to Google on State Farm. Okay, State Farm is an insurance company. The nearest office is Urbana Champaign, or whatever it may be. And I'll take the numbers and those things, and I'll go to the whoever sent me that mail. Ask him, when could we have a discussion on these? I have a couple of doubts to be clear. I want to understand the situation as is at their offices. Okay, so what I'll try to do, I'll try to assess the situation, I'll try to assess the background, okay, and try to create a solution for them, try to understand a solution for them, try to elicit the vision. This is how we put the words, this is how we explain it to everybody. So I want to elicit the business requirement, so I need to have a couple of calls with these guys. So could you please refer me to, you know, any executive or any persons who have shared this vision with us? So the CEO and CTO will say, yeah, no problem. But please keep your, you know, questions ready, because, you know, he's a senior person and blah, 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 blah thing. So he'll basically, provide the logistic for such Zoom call or Google call or whatever it may be. And, you know, talk to these guys, right? You talk to the team normally and they'll tell you, okay, I want this green, I want this red. We have tried using fingerprint sensor, but there are again lots of proxies, and also we want to go ahead with better solution. So what you'll suggest, I'll suggest, okay, let me come back to you. Then what you'll do, you'll go to the CEO CTO again and ask him, sir, could we have any, you know, SME called subject matter expert or COE, Center of Excellence, supporting me on this, recruitment or attendance management system type of domain. So anybody, any senior person who already worked on some technology like this will come to you, or the, you know, CEO CTO will send it to you, or you can go to him and, you know, ask him, hey COE, hey SME, could you please, try to help me out in what are the, you know, technical advancement, what are the different things which are available in the market which I can utilize in this solution. So he'll, you know, tell you, okay, they've used biometric, right? I know it's a fishy thing nowadays, so let's try to use iris scanner. So he'll include iris scanner and you will build an HLD, right, a high level diagram, and I will reach there, and you'll have another call with this COE SME with you, with these guys of State Farm, and try to explain them how iris scanner is good, and, you know, and so he'll say, okay, go ahead with the iris scanner, I think it's, you know, sounds good, let's have a discussion on that. So you'll prepare a solution, prepare a HLD with this iris scanner, and then we'll have that, overall project review or project kickoff session where these guys sign the check and saying, okay, have this 10 million, and then Infosys will start working on the project of enhancing attendance management system at State Farm. That's how the thing normally happens, right? How do I present? I present with SRS. I normally present through, PPT, Microsoft presentation, Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. That's the software I use normally. And whenever I do that, I'll include bits and pieces from my SRS, which is normally reviewed by the team within, Infosys. They'll try to, review this within my team, because I want to validate with the whatever processes as a matured IT persons I have within me. Right? Even Infosys is a mature IT company. So we have certain processes and policies defined called quality management system. Okay. And I need to follow those documents. I need to follow those processes. So I have a template for SRS. The business analyst own the document of SRS. SRS is, system requirement specification. Okay, so what I do, I normally fill in all this detail in this template called system requirement specification, where I, include this use case diagram, I include this high level diagram, and then present this SRS to the in the kickoff meeting, right? This is how it happens. So these word BRD, business requirement documents, come to me if I'm working at Infosys, and I'll convert the vision to the requirement or the solution conceptualization based on this document. Anybody have any question for me at this moment?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we also seen a video of 7 points and all those things. Now let's try to understand objectives of BRD. What BRD does? Sorry, go ahead, please.
Sir, what is that scalability for business needs which we have in BRD? What is that scalability?
Okay, scalability. Okay, let me, where was that?
In BRD.
Yes. Okay. Okay, scalability is like, okay, whenever we discuss, right, what we talk about at State Farm, there could be offices where you have, sorry, any question for me?
No, sorry. My kids were there behind.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, no problem. So what, whenever we discuss for State Farm, right? State Farm can have an office with, 10 employee, can have office of 4,000 employees, right? So whenever I'm building these solutions, I need to consider my solution fit for 10 employee State Farm office or 4,000 employee State Farm office. This is what we call scalability. Scalability is scale according to the number of users, right? So what I'll do, see, whenever I use iris scanner, right? Iris scanner, I need to provide a solution where there is just 10 member office, I have to just give one iris scanner. Okay, and where there is a 4,000 employee, I might have 6 iris scanners. This is what we call understanding the scalability of business. So I need to understand how many offices they want to deploy this solution of enhancing attendance management system. And as we normally discuss in our example, we are going to implement these solutions to all State Farm offices. So I need to understand where is the least amount of employee, where one scanner can solve the one iris scanner can solve purpose for every employee there, or there are 4,000 or 10,000 number of employees offices, where I need to understand how many in gates, out gates, and I have to provide those many iris scanners, right? So I need to understand how iris scanners works for the scalability, and then suggest those things. This is a part of conceptual solution building. Does that solve your confusion, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else have any question? Okay, let's go a step further. Now we'll try to understand how BRD is important, because BRD is a base for SRS. Quite a few things are just copied from BRD and pasted in a SRS and then explain it in depth, because the vision is carried forward from the business requirement document and converted it to a requirement in SRS, right? Business requirement document, system requirement specification. Okay, this is a normal progression. Okay, so BRD is normally communicated by the client or a customer to a technology partner, where they will build something called SRS and present it to client back. He's saying, boss, hey, this is what you said is your requirement. Let's try to build a new document, and then we'll have discussion about the cost, solution conceptualization, and everything, right? And then we build something called SRS. So business requirement document is a formal contract between customer and the organizations for a product development with a product development partner, right? Because this is a kind of document which initiate the thought process overall. Okay, we start understanding the vision, which is kind of a documented vision and shared with the development partner. So development partner, that's where me as an BA works, and we'll start building these things. We start building upon based on SRS. Even there are documents called statement of work. There are documents called formal contracts. These are based on these BRDs. Okay, there could be number of emails, or there could be number of BRD documents versions also possible. So there is a version 1, version 2, version 3. So the latest version, the last version release is the most important, and that's what we start using as a base for our SRS. Okay, because that's the latest one, right? And then we build something called system requirement document, which is a basis of agreement between customer and contractor or suppliers, or how the software product should function. The rigorous assessment of requirements before the more specific design stages and its goals to reduce lateral redesign, right? So this SRS is a document which basically builds the conceptualized solution, and then next stage is basically designing the stage, architecting stage, and so on and so forth. Okay, so SRS is basically an evolved version of BRD, where I start conceptualizing document, I start conceptualizing the functionalities, I start keying in detailed functionality one by one. Does that make sense?
Sir,
Uh-huh.
sir, are you going to give us these definitions somewhere? Because these things, I think we need to pick up the words. So,
SRS BRD, I'm going to
I mean,
share
even
this
for the
presentation
BA, the
with you.
definition.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm going to share this presentation with you, and we're going to work on a SRS template also. There's a hands-on workshop for SRS.
Oh, so you are going to share this presentation with us?
Presentation as well. Yes, that's true.
Okay, then that will be great, because I was
And
just trying to put the definition.
If you join all the session, if you be attentive, you will learn these words, because that's how I speak. I'm an IT person. So these words are, normal bread and butter for me. And this should be how, you can look at, let's say 3 years down the line or 4 years down the line. Because whenever you start working with IT people have really, bad habit of using their own words. It's like with doctors, it's like with lawyers also. They have their own vocabulary and they stick to that, right? So this thing also happens. Means to be, just specific, lawyer in India, they use Latin words, believe me. And, if you ever visit lawyer, any legal fraternity in India, and you'll be surprised. The Latin words they use with ease. Means even a lawyer, which are not basically linguistic expert, but the Latin words are already included in our Indian legal system. So this is how it happens. In IT, we are basically technocrat. So we use the most difficult words. And that's the way this fraternity have been grown. So that's why the analysts are basically more prone, or at least they know at least a gist of the word, and that's more than sufficient for you. Okay, does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
No
Sharing the PPT will definitely help. Thank you, sir.
Sure. I'll share these PDF with you within few days, so you can review this presentation. Okay, sure, no problem. Let's go ahead. Okay,
I just have one thing that.
Yeah, so please go ahead.
Basically, BRD is based on SRD, and SRD is based on BRD. It's derived from BRD. So they, in short, they complement each other, right? They can.
No, ma'am. BRD is the original first step. Business requirement document.
But but then SRD is derived from BRDs, and it is based on BRDs.
That's right. Right.
But don't they complement each other?
No, ma'am. SRS is a kind of, as I told you, right? It's an evolution of BRD. SRS is based on BRD, and normally SRS is kind of evolution or a next step of a BRD. Whenever we conceptualize the solution, SRS is authored by a business analyst. Now the analysis have been started. BRD is just the business vision.
But the BRD clients own the BRD, then SRD is owned by
development partner.
Development people. Okay.
Right. Okay. I should include here. Okay, you're right on that part, right? BRD is OWNED, owned by CLI, the client. Right. SRS is OWNED, owned by DEVE, LOP, MENT, PART, NER, right? Development partner, and AUTHOU already authored by. Does that make sense more?
Yeah, it makes more clear, right?
I know. Sorry, I missed this thing. And this is how I also learned, right? So,
Hello?
Yes, we are here. I think Ravi sir. Yeah, I think Ravi sir has lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you hear me?
We lost you for a few seconds.
Yeah, and still, oh man, give me a minute, please. Okay, sure. So, this is how we will, closely work. This is how, we will understand, we will, be better at our thought process, one step by one step. Okay. Then we'll have do we had a look of BRD template or, SRS template?
No.
We had a look, right?
I don't recall.
Hello?
I don't recall.
Okay. Let's have a, look at the BRD template. I might be, remaining, thinking from my last batch as well. Now, again, BRD is normally 99% comes as a, what you can say, an email to the development partner or to the sales manager, and with the bulleted points. That's all. Means you have to just take it as an BRD and start working on that, right? So BRD is normally give me a minute, please. Yes, this is a kind of most evolved form of BRD. Okay, and if you have something like even State Farm, the way we consider, it's really great matured IT organizations where we have such documents from to the shared with Infosys as well. But most of the time, it's normally an email coming to the I'm sharing the practical scenarios also with you, because I have I'm worked as a BA, and there are quite a few good number of friends who are still working as an BA in American fraternity, America corporate, so corporate America. So that's how I keep learning myself nowadays. Even we have something like email coming to you with a bulleted point to the sales manager, which forwards to the BA, and BA works on that. So a normal BRD is an email with bulleted requirement points or bulleted business visions, and then we'll take it up from there. This is the most advanced form. Normally you won't get it, but let's assume if you get it, what are the normal contents of it? So there'll be an executive summary. So let's go and have a look at it. So executive summary is basically why, what, and why business want to have these enhanced attendance management system to be built for him, and so on and so forth. And he'll talk about the State Farm, what State Farm do, it's provide insurance to this and that, and all those things. So executive summary is basically about State Farm and about the vision where it starts coming from. Okay, so he'll tell you about the challenges in attendance management system and all. And then the project objective. Now this is the most important part as far as business analyst goes. So what we did here, we try to understand what are the objectives are the SRS will be based on, or what are the main requirements, what are the main visions, what we are going to elicit for the State Farm. Now these are normally bulleted points, which I said I talked to you about, normally comes via an email to you. Okay, so if an email come to you, I'll create executive summary or try to understand executive summary from the Google. Okay, because what State Farm does, whatever that client who is trying to work with you on this new project, you can Google on it, you can understand from any of the online portal, because normally all the what you can say matured companies have their web portal. They talk about their products, they talk about how they work, where are the offices, and all those things, right? So project objective is the most important part, and these are the bullet points where my SRS will be based on, and these are also will reflect in my HLDs, and I'll elicit these couple of functionalities, couple of visions in my use case diagram to make sure I understand in depth. So I'll normally elicit couple of complex use case, visions, which are mentioned as in project objectives in my use case diagram to present back in my, project kickoff meeting or projects, start meeting, where I'll try to portray as an, business solution provided by Infosys to State Farm in those conceptual levels. Does that make sense? Anybody have any confusion at this moment?
I'm good.
Okay, great. Then this comes a needs statement. Now, okay, let me tell you, I have mentioned here how many points? 9 points, right? There could be 3 or 4 points also. So it's also a possibility that the State Farm business analyst might think, I don't have to, include non-functional requirement. I don't have to include, scheduled timelines or deadlines. And I don't want to include assumptions. So it also scenario like he might send your documents with only 5-6 points or 5-6 chapters, as we say in a normal Word document, and he'll send that document to you. This is a normal scenario. So please don't treat as a discipline. This is a kind of guidelines all these mature IT company use normally. Okay. Now another thing, we have to think about something like SMART goal, right? If you are a management student, then you'll understand what you mean by SMART goal, and what really constitutes something like SMART goals. Okay. let's try to understand. Smart is, we've discussed this, I believe, but I'll give you homework. Try to understand, try to write down somewhere of SMART goal. And let's discuss smart goal in our next class, so that we'll understand in depth what you mean by business objective, how we really get the requirement in terms of SMART goals. SMART is I forgot the, yes, it's a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So all these objectives should clarify these mesh, and we'll basically filter it out. So if it's not smart, we need to ask some more details. That's how overall analysts should think, right? So it's a homework for you. Try to understand what you mean by SMART goals. Write down somewhere, and we'll discuss in our next session, right? Because this is more or less my thought process, how me as an analyst should work in the best possible scenario, right? So that's the learning there, right? And then there's a need statement. So need statement basically talks about what are the needs. So they might mention here saying, okay, we have tried this biometric, but still, people are using proxies and all those things. So we want to get rid of all such things. On top of that, we want to have something like a uniform system across the globe. So there are State Farm offices in around 6 to 7 different countries, and we want to connect this attendance management system to have an uniform system for all these offices. Okay, so this is also a requirement. This is also a need, which is also a requirement, right? And which I need to consider in my HLD. Okay, now we will basically learn how to convert these needs to the actual HLD. Okay, we will learn this. This is a learning basically, because this is a kind of need. This is a kind of, we need to convert it to a SMART goal and then present it to the HLD, high level diagram. We will learn how to do that, right? So this is a need statement, and then something called project scope. We talked about the project scope in use case diagram, right? That rectangular box. Now, what is project scope? I want to make sure whatever my thought process is within the limits of business, requirement, within the limit of the project or the solution which the business requires, which the vision shares with me. I can't, give them everything in the world. No, but still, I need to understand as a business analyst, where should I stop? Till what point I'm trying to support the business vision in terms of scope. Scopes are the kind of limitations where I think the solution should be limited to this scope. And there could be an evolution of scope as well. So today, as in January, I was thinking about scopes in terms of, just attendance management system. And the scope can be evolved over time, like in March 2021, I start thinking about including the, payrolls also into this. Okay, so payroll can be run on something like SAP, or they have some other softwares where they have the payrolls running. So I can include the payroll in enhancing attendance management system as well. I believe we understand, right, what I'm trying to say here. Any confusion at this moment? Anybody have any question?
No, I'm good.
I know this sounds a bit confusing, but if you have a look at these things, practicability means just sit down and think it through. As a business analyst, how should I work? How normal industry should work or should expect from a business analyst, and you'll get a clear picture. We will revise this thing. Please don't worry. This is not last time we are speaking on BRD or SRS. We are just reviewing this template. We are just trying to understand what are the blanks we need to fill in. And BRD normally comes to us as an analyst. So we are not going to work on this document. This comes to us, right? And there could be something like ROI or financial statement. Functional requirements are far and few in BRDs, and normally nobody mentions non-functional requirement. And scheduled deadlines are just in one bullet point saying we might need by mid 2021 or something like that sort. Assumptions are normally not normally 99% we don't get assumption for in the BRD. Okay, normally 80 to 85% we get BRDs as an email with a bulleted point. Does that make clear? Do you have any confusion?
I'm good.
Anybody have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, great. And this is the most important part. Okay, we will learn something about requirement traceability. Just try to remember this word. If I'm not talked earlier, let's try to understand. This word is called requirement traceability. We trace the requirements from a business vision to the functionality deployed in the product, project, or solution, right? And this is the table which we normally start, start depicting the requirement, depicting the business vision one by one, where we normally track each and every changes to these documents. We can normally track each and every reviewers, approvers in these document for these documents, and who are this document is distributed to, who are the author, and who created document. So I can go and call him, I can go and check with him, like what was the thought process whenever you created this document. And this happens in a practical scenario. Okay, this table, this page is also included in the SRS. This is called requirement traceability. This is how we build requirement traceability. All these details are copied into our web portal nowadays, which is on a cloud or intranet, whatever you want to label it to, where each of these tables are tracked to the end of the product, project, or support, so that this also affects the warranty, the support scenario, and the rest of the vision of the product, project, or support. Okay, you might find a bit difficult right now, but this is what we call requirement traceability, and it's a really big thing. We will discuss quite a few times, believe me. You'll be able to talk about this thing at length whenever we have a last workshop. And we also had a good workshop last time. If you can have a review of those recordings, you can understand in depth what you mean by RTM, or but I don't want you to go ahead. Please, let's be with the team and let's try to learn it as we grow. So okay, so this is what we call requirement traceability, right? Okay, now this is all I have for BRD. Now let's try to understand the SRS template, and you're going to work on this SRS template, believe me. And someday we will have a hands-on workshop to build this SRS, by yourself. You will, work on this. Let me open this document for you. I have to do a stop share. No, I have to do a start share. System requirement. Okay. Could you see these? Could you see a system requirements document?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
great. Now this is the most important document a business analyst normally works on. This is authored by him. So whatever work you do is in line with this template as in BA. Okay, so this is like project name. This is normally copied from the BRD, or if the BRD is just an email with 6 or 7 bulleted points, me as an BA can rename this project. Okay, that's also happens because this is the name which the project, product, or solution get conceived as. So it's a like kind of childbirth. This is the document which authored and controlled by a business analyst, and it's his responsibility to get this document approved, get this document what you can call sign off, like these guys put the signature. Nowadays we have something called digital signatures. Okay, we'll learn about that. Please don't worry on that part. Okay, so normally here what I'll put enhancing attendance management system requirements at State Farm, and again at this document made by me as a business analyst. I'll put business analyst name here and development partner name. This comes down. I don't know why it's going up. Okay, and this is the most uniform template which we use. So this is where you're going to work on whenever you go on job, when you start working as a business analyst. I'll share this with you, and we do a hands-on workshop for SRS as well. Okay, so we'll have a look at. Now let's try to understand the table of contents. Okay, as I told you, there is a revision sign-off sheet, right? So this is a revision sign-off sheet. This is again what we call requirement traceability, right? This is how we build something called requirement traceability matrix, right? So let's try to understand again. There's a change record. So the date, author, version. Okay, version again. Let me try to explain you. Normally in industry as of today, we have version as an x.x.x.x. Okay, I'll explain you what are these 4x and 3 dots in between. These are the what we can say version label or version name we give to each and every document, each and every software release, each and every software build, right? So whenever you refer in an iterative development, there could be 20 SRS, right? So how do you refer to a particular SRS? You refer by this version name. So this can be something like 1.2.1.3. I'm just taking a raw example. Now this one is a major release. So if there is a big overhaul in terms of difference of product name, difference of product approach, then I'll change this number. Normally it's 1 throughout the product life cycle. This is wherever there's a big addition, like I talked about, including payroll in the attendance management system. Then this number will go up from 2 to 3. Okay, so in version 1.3.0.0, I'll have addition of payroll to the actual enhanced attendance management system requirement. Now this point is basically added whenever there's a big module. Okay, now these two are driven by client and these two are driven by development partners. Okay, this one is changed wherever I try to add a conceptual blocks or try to change the conceptual block in HLD. So if there's any addition, subtraction or modification to the HLD, I change this reference. And then this is for normal release. So if I have fixed bugs, right? If I change the color of the web page, if I added a couple of buttons, I will change this number from 3 to 4 or to 5 or to 6, depending upon the previous version and the addition. Does that make sense?
No, because I'm confused. If it is the same change, then why there are two versions, change reference 1.3 and 1.3?
No, why do you say same change, ma'am?
No, because if there is some change or there is an update, it should be just one, be it by the BR.
Oh, there are level of update. Now we are talking about level of updates, right? There are some levels saying minor, levels, major levels. So this is a minor, this is the most minor. This is a bit, major. This is a really major, and this is like completely change the product or project or support. These are the levels of changes we are talking about in terms of design, in terms of understanding the documents, in terms of understanding whatever artifact you are labeling the versions with. Each and every artifact labeled with these versions. So what are the artifacts? Artifacts are the things which are reviewed, which are checked, which are audited, are called artifacts. Does that make sense? Means, okay, let me tell you. Let's say I am started my first discussions with SRS, VPHR. After my first meeting, I'll create a document at 1.0.0.0. This is my first SRS. Okay, and before that I have something called draft. Okay, draft is basically 0.0.0.1. Draft is normally created by business analyst by itself, and business analyst author this. So draft, this is what you'll share with the within Infosys team. This is what we will share with the client. Does that make any sense, ma'am?
No, I'm still confused.
Okay, let me come to this. We'll discuss this labeling.
Example on this.
Come again.
Can you give some real life example on this?
Yes, sure. We'll have real life example, and you'll label your SRS also. We'll go into depth. See, these are the part of what you can say quality management system training we have, and we'll explain it there. Don't worry. Okay. Currently, just remember there's a number which is normally used as a label to have the release tracked. Okay. So there could be a SRS. So if somebody asks you to give you SRS, you'll ask him which version. So the sales manager will tell you, could you please share the SRS with me 1.3.4.2? So then you'll understand which document he's talking about, because the documents are approved based on these numbers normally. And wherever there is a change, I update one of these digits. Okay. And so the labeled versions get approved. and stamped and signed. That's how it works in the real remote environment as of we are working now. We'll come to this thing in depth. Please just try to remember there's something called version labels. Okay, these are what we call version labels, and there are change references. So we maintain the change references in revision sign-off sheets in every artifact we create. Okay,
Sir,
and these, go ahead, please.
sir, what is this change reference? Do I need to, what do we write in the change reference? Do we write the numbers, or do we write what changes we are doing?
Yeah, in change reference, you can write text. Now, normally versions are came here. So in the change reference, I can write as a business analyst, changed from 1.2.3.1 to 1.2.3.2, as we have CHANGD changed the color of web pages as per client HRIFER ENC meeting on 30th December 2020, 3 p.m. You are okay.
Okay, so in the change reference, I need to give them that, okay, I'm changing from this version to this version.
Yeah, that version.
And
So
what
I've
I'm
just
changing, what all changes I'm including. Like if I'm including 10 changes, I need to have all those 10 changes.
10 rows. That's right. That's right.
Oh.
Okay, and this is not a single page. This table will go bigger and bigger. If you look at normally, there's a web page for this on your intranet. So whenever you try to understand the sign-off sheets, you'll have all these things, and there's a sign-off by client, sign off by my internal approval authority, saying okay, this SRS has been approved, reviewed by, and approved by, and all those things. That's why we have reviewers, we have distribution. So you'll mention wherever you shared this document with, to whom, his position, with the client, within our organizations as an Infosys, and so on and so forth. Okay, does that started making any sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Okay, great.
Yes.
No problem. And we'll learn this thing in depth one by one. Now, this is what the title, whatever I mentioned in this document, the title will come here. Me as an author is the owner in a normal IT sense. So I am the owner of this document. I'll put the creation date, last updated date, blah, 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 blah stuff. Okay. Now let's try to understand this table of content. This is normally referred as TOC. So whenever I discuss TOC, it means table of contents. So table of contents basically have this revision sign-off sheet. Then we have business requirement summary. Now this business requirement summary normally talks about overall contents of these documents, overall try to understand the project justifications, why we should basically do this enhancement management system for State Farm. And it has couple of lines about State Farm. Like State Farm is one of the prominent insurance service provider within the Midwest, and came to us. They have talked with our sales manager, name this thing on this date, and then we had a couple of sequential discussion after that. The amounts can be referred, blah blah blah, with these names, and then we will try to understand, try to justify the goals, the business needs of these solutions which we are trying to present. Right. So these are basically overall summary and contents of this document should include the criteria by which system requirements were established and how they were validated. So all these MOMs, all these meetings, which are normally preceded by something called minutes of meeting. Minutes of meeting is another document. We'll have that look at minutes of meeting in few minutes, which is basically there to understand or validate the auditory artifact. Okay, auditory artifact is just a big word. These are basically documents normally checked whenever somebody wants to understand the history, because there's a history, right? There should be some reference, who said this, when he said this, what was the background, and that's how these requirements are elicited, right? That's how we create the solution step by step. So we need to understand the evolution of this solution. who started this thinking process, who as an analyst started analyzing the thought process, and how when he or she came to a conclusion. So this conclusion have been validated by these auditory artifacts, and that's how we represent. Okay, and these are included in these things one by one, right? And then comes the business requirement. Now these are normally copied from the BRDs or the email which I have received as a business vision. I'll include here, and then I'll try to add many things here. So we have use case diagram added here, we have high level conceptual diagram added here, we have if the client wants and needs, or there's a policy with your team, like you have normally mind map, SWOT analysis, or a couple of such things also include. We have to include in this business requirement. So you validate the requirement with all these diagrams. You elicit these requirements with all these diagrams. These are all diagrams, right? So or analysis, frankly speaking. So you all do these analysis. This is the most important chapter. What we build, what we create, and this is how the baby started growing. Now I have envisioned the requirement, I have understood the vision from the business dignitaries, I have built the requirements step by step, and then started eliciting those requirements and building much detailed diagram based on these requirements, so that I can take the requirement to the nth level. Okay, and that's how I work. So this is the most important chapter. Then there are chapters on system and service dependencies. These are the things which are need as in support to the solution. So we need to procure iris scanner. So which type of iris scanner? Sony, Philips. There are quite a few iris scanners available today in the market. But I need to provide a scenario. Why Philips? Why Sony? Normally, the way we've conceived the example which I take it, like there are Philips iris scanner cost around $100. There's a Sony iris scanner who cost around $400. Now why Sony iris scanner scanning capability is much more better? I can have something like very light blue eyes, which normally a miss in Philips iris scanner can be captured clearly in Sony iris scanner. So what I do as a business analyst, I normally have 3 Sony Philips iris scanner and 1 Sony iris scanner, because I don't want to create a costly solution. So here as a business analyst, I started thinking in terms of revenues, in terms of cost, right? And as I told you, as a business analyst, I am a person who is very visible. So if I propose certain thoughts like this of cost effectiveness, of building some better ROIs and all those things, I'll get awarded left and right, because I'm a very visible role. This is how I create my reputation within my organizations and within client teams as well. So whatever suggestion I do, whatever suggestion I present with all facts and figures, I normally go here. So this is the chapter which is a prominent, or what you can say, work of art for any business analyst, right? And this is how get myself noticed. And believe me, business analysts are the most important person, most visible person across organizations, which are normally awarded very gracefully, because you normally closely work with CIOs and CTOs and VPs of the world. So whatever you do in terms of your personal addition to the solutions, which is normally reflected in these chapters, are awarded very graciously. Okay, so could you understand the importance of this chapter?
Yes.
Okay, and could you understand the importance of business requirement as well?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I have a
These
question.
are
So these
normally,
are-
sorry, go ahead, please.
So these are the just a ready-made template you have to just fill in depending on your project?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's a normal process.
Okay.
Okay. And mostly, 80% of it is copied, paste from other documents. I'll tell you. And that's why we have something called workshop, right? And that's how we do it. We do think too much, but we write in very few statements. We talk too much. We even have quite a few meetings for getting each and every requirements clarified or elicited, but we normally write a very few things. So you're not a writer, you're not the author. Well, author in this document, that's right, but you're not expected to be a writer or a philosopher, but you have to understand the vision and convert it or add it to a document so that it can be passed to the development team, because development team, those are the techie guys, they just talk big words, but actual conceptualization happen by business analysts. That's what the most crucial part, right? Conceiving a baby is the most important part. You can nurture the baby, you can push couple of vitamin pills and all those things, that's okay, but nurturing and conceiving the baby and delivering the baby is like what you do as a business analyst. And this is how the SRS document is the representation of all these things what you do as a business analyst, because SRS is owned by business analyst. You get it approved, you get it reviewed and all those things. Does that make sense, ma'am?
Yes.
Great.
Sir, you are
Go
going
ahead.
to explain us that mind map and all?
Yeah. We are going to learn each of these things. We will concentrate and we'll do hands-on workshop of whatever tools are currently used by Infosys, Wipro, TCS, because that's where you're going to work for. And there are some extra tools which we'll have review of, like the mind maps, which are used in a couple of companies. Nowadays nobody use mind map, but we'll have a review. If somebody said mind maps, how does mind map look like? We'll have a look at something called fishbone diagram, because if you're working with Japanese client, they might give you a fishbone diagram. Anybody else have a question? Okay, so we will learn each and every those facts. Please don't worry on that part. Any other question for me? Okay. And I talked about services dependency. Then there's something called interportability requirement. Now, what is interportability requirement? These are basically requirements where we should consider if State Farm has something called SAP, if State Farm has something called Unix as an operating system, or some vague software system which they have, or a legacy software system where I need to push my data to or get the data from. These are normally scenario. Well, State Farm uses something called SAP, and they have their payroll and everything goes through SAP. SAP, you heard of SAP? Anybody of you?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I know.
Okay, so this SAP is the same white elephant. We normally in software fraternity we call it a white elephant, because the software is so huge. It it's up infrastructure like a piece of cake, but the supportability scenario is really challenging there. But that's a different scenario. The software also evolved over generations altogether. SAP is there from last, I think, 1940s or so, and it's evolved in a great depth. But the software itself is such a heavy software. Nowadays, the latest version of SAP is SAP HANA, which is a cloud-based software. So normally SAP as a company, they provide these, servers on the cloud, which we use as a client, and that's how it works. So there are certain, service call, or there are certain, communication we set up with this SAP, because all the historical employee record will be in the SAP, right? Even for a State Farm. So what I'll do, I'll have a use case where I'll try to recall these data elements, whichever they are in the SAP, in my new updated enhancement or enhanced attendance management system, where I will clarify or validate the leave records accordingly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because currently they have certain, quite a few year-wise attendance record in SAP. So I need to get those records in my system also. So I'll copy it from the SAP and started building my, leave records and all those things. So I need certain, something like these type of data from some other system, which I'll include here. So there could be a couple of, paragraphs. One talk about SAP, other talk about other systems, and, so on and so forth. So this happens, right? And these are all the interportability requirements. Now, technology impact assessment. The technology impact assessment describes how to solution will impact existing network environment. Now, this we are talking about the infrastructure, right? So here we are talked about understanding the current scenario. So see, we are going to connect this, eye scanner to a computer, right? To a server, where the iris scanner record will be pushed to a server and then to a cloud. Cloud is the internet. So cloud is basically, we have something called virtual server or a virtual computer where the data will reside at the end of the day. So whenever Ravindra Pandey comes, put his iris to the iris scanner, the iris scanner will say Ravindra Pandey and mentions the time. If you ever used iris scanner, it will give you a beep and saying Ravindra Pandey, how much, what's the time right now? Ravindra Pandey, 10:27 Monday, 10:27 p.m. and with so many seconds Monday. That's what it said. And these are the three elements: name, or these are the 5-6 element: name, last name, hour, minutes, second, milliseconds goes to the server. Okay, so these 6 elements goes to the cloud server immediately. This is what we call real-time communication. Okay, so these data elements are transferred to the cloud server. Now I need to represent this thing in my use case HLD so that all these elements are synchronized. And again, these are the conceptual thought process which are depicting in high level diagrams. Okay, these all come over here, and I'll mention in a reference to HLD point number so and so, and this is how the overall technology or the infrastructure is getting impacted via this solution. Does that make sense? Anybody have any confusion?
I'm trying to understand, but I'm clear.
Okay, no problem. I can understand that. And in a HLD, whenever we try to draw HLD, these will be more clear. Okay. And there are some other, we talked about versioning, right? Now, if there are any, okay, normally what happens, we go give this number, right? Dot X, right? And this is labeled as CHRISIMUS, Christmas 2020. So this release can be labeled as Christmas 2020, can be labeled, right? Normally some organizations have these, release label as a letters or, these type of alphanumeric letters, right? So I'll mention those in this chapter. So if my client have any such, what I can say, labeling practices carried in their vicinity or in their quality management system, I'll add those things here. But normally this chapter can be left blank because these are done by infrastructure consultant now rather than BAs. But yeah, the chapter is still there. So these last 2 chapters, you can, leave them blank whenever we have our first workshop. In the last workshop, you can add these things, right? By that time, you'll understand what you mean by quality management system, how the labeling works, how the versioning works in depth. Okay, any confusion for on this document? I know it's a bit heavy dose, and we will review the SRS again tomorrow in our next session so that we can understand SRS in depth, because this is the most crucial document business analyst make by himself or herself. Okay, so we'll have a complete review of SRS again. Please don't worry. BRD normally comes to us. SRS is built on BRD. Okay, does that make sense? Are we clear in on those part at least?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. I know it's a big lot to take as of today, so we will complete our session today. Unless anybody have any what you can say, anyone to discuss or ask any doubts to me. Anyone have any doubts?
I'm good.
We are okay, right? I know I can feel the heaviness of thought process in your level of sound as well. Okay, or anybody else enthusiastic enough to go ahead? You want me to go ahead?
Yes.
You want to go ahead? Okay, that's great, no problem. Okay, let's go. I'm really happy. Are we, okay, let's try to look at something called minutes of meeting template. Again, this is all, sorry, go ahead, please, ma'am.
Yeah, sir, whenever you get a chance, can you give me the brief overview of those first few classes? Because I'm trying to go through the recordings, but it is good to have a conversations those pages. Maybe, you know.
Sure, ma'am. Let's do one thing. Could you, build some questions? Just note down questions somewhere with pen and paper, and let's suggest a time, and we can have one-on-one call, ma'am. We can do that.
Yeah, sure. You know, those are, I don't know, those are basic definitions of BA only, the basic definition and the scope.
You
So,
understood the BA definition, right?
yeah. So, I mean, I just need, some, maybe 30 minutes of your time to discuss all.
Sure, definitely. No problem at all. Just guide me, and we can have another separate call,
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
or we can, discuss it over here also. Means, there's the minutes of meeting. Means, sorry. There are, rather than doubts, there are quite a few things we discuss within our, such session. So, I
Just
think
bullet points. Yeah, like, just a high level, so that I should not feel like I have missed 3 classes.
no, I can understand, ma'am. I can understand your dilemma, and there are quite a few things which we learn on the go, and there are quite a few things. Let's say if you miss a class, right? So there are certain things, where I miss some topics, and then I need to understand in depth, and this is a normal procedure. So please, don't restrain yourself. Keep asking questions, and that's how we will learn step by step, right? So please don't worry of asking questions, or don't restrain yourself from asking questions. That'll be my personal request.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. So,
and we
yeah,
can have one-on-one session also. Please don't worry on that part.
yeah, okay,
Okay,
sir.
let's try to understand minutes of meeting. Okay, have I shown you this thing earlier? No, I believe. Okay, no problem. So this is a template, this is a document, and there could be different colors, there could be different type of tables, there could be different font size and cosmetics in use. But let's try to understand what it contains. Mota, right? It contains minutes of meeting for the meeting done on 25th December 2020 at 4 p.m. for enhancing the attendance management system at State Farm. So minutes of meeting will be labeled like this. Okay, new project enhancing attendance management system for State Farm, right? And on Tuesday, January 5, 2021, these are the time, location. You can meet it, Zoom meet, Google meet with this ID, that ID, and all those things. Meeting called by so and so forth. Analyst, then who are all attendees of the meeting, who are the facilitator, who was the note taker, and Scrum Master is the person who normally will preside in each and every meeting from Infosys side. I will come to Scrum Master afterwards, right? So there'll be a name of a person. Product owner, there'll be a name of a person, where we normally refer to these two roles, very critical in terms of Agile Scrum methodology, what we normally perceive in all top IT fraternities, IT organizations, IT industries. Okay, so Scrum Master. Okay, now I forgot that what you can say, product owner, right? So PRODUCTOWNER. So these are the two most important persons we include, besides the normally persons which you see. These are all there in these were all there in the meeting, but these two are mentioned even if they are not there, because they'll review this minutes of meeting, they'll listen to the voice recording if they are not there. We'll come to those letterwords. Then what we do, agenda. What was the agenda? Discussion conversion. So we discussed about iris scanner. We discussed about office of State Farm in Abana, Champagne, where there are 6 gates, and I need to have 4 iris scanner of Philips company and 2 iris scanner of Sony company, and so on and so forth. Then what are the conclusion? So the project manager will discuss these things about the requirement in terms of how to procure, when to procure. This is the last date, this is the day we should start procuring, this is the day where we actually fit by the carpenter and electrician, blah blah. So we can have some elements like that as well discussed and allocated or assigned here in the minutes of meeting. So minutes of meeting is basically a document where I assign a thing to a particular person with the name and the position, so that he or she can be responsible for that. And we also mention the last day or the deadlines, and so on and so forth. So this document is all covered in all such things. So there's a topic discussed by, initiated by, deadline, action by, and so on and forth. That's what it contains. So have you understand minutes of meeting? There are some situation or scenario where business analysts create minutes of meeting. Again, this is also a template. You're going to go get it from wherever the company you're working for. So Infosys will have a template, right? And we'll use this thing. This template I took it from the TCS archival. This was the template they were using in 2014. And that's why I normally share, because it contains all the elements. There are new templates which I'll share with you in our last workshop, where we can understand. There could be a blue color template, there could be a red color template, or it's just a paragraph format. So these are all mentioned as in paras. So that's also a possibility. Have you understand the basic need of minutes of meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I know. I think I'm straining yourself. I'm really taking on these really complicated topics. So let's stop here, I believe, because I can understand Lina ma'am is really enthusiastic about going on and on, and I really appreciate that. But let's stop here today, right, ma'am? With your permission, could we stop here today?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. Because I know these are quite difficult things to take in a day, and let's go step by step. I think we have enough of time, and if if we feel at all, or if I feel at all we are going slow, we will have Sunday sessions as well. Okay, so please don't worry. Till it's a need, I don't put Sundays on the table, but if there's a need, we will discuss on that in depth. Okay.
Ravi, do you suggest anything for reinforcing what you have shown us today, all these templates? What else we can refer?
Ma'am, right now, what I would really love is if you can just take down the notes, and whenever I'll share the templates with you, so that you can go through these 3 templates. I'll share SRS on the group, BRD, SRS, and minutes of meeting. SRS is the most crucial. Go through it. Don't search on the Google for the SRS ready-made document. It might confuse you, because we have just starting. Okay, be with me, and we'll go step by step in depth. And believe me, at the end of PS session, you will be in really good in terms of how to build SRS, what it includes, and which chapter these details go. Believe me, we'll walk up to that level. So please don't worry on that part. Just start learning. Start understanding as a student, and we'll reach there one day. Okay. And that's not all these BA workshop, because let's not complicate the matter. And even I'll keep sharing various videos through on the group. So whenever you get time, have a look at those videos, and believe me, you'll be the best BA what a normal time can offer, as an 2 to 3 year experienced BA, which we can offer your services to Infosys, Wipro, TCS of the world, and you'll be enabled with all the tools as needed. Please, trust me on this.
Okay.
Sir, how many classes are left? When are we planning to finish these training sessions?
Very, very good question, ma'am. These sessions are basically planned to, we started on, I think,
14th December, I think.
14th December, yes.
Yeah, for something like that. So let's, take it as a 6 to 8 weeks. Mota.
Okay.
Means earliest we can finish within 6 weeks. If not, 10 weeks, definitely.
So 6 weeks will be 20th of January.
Right, around that time.
Okay.
See, it depends also on, the way we interact, the way, we ask questions, we cleared our doubt, and, everything. So please don't stress yourself right now. Most probably, if time permits, I would, love to have been employed by, first week of February, or, second week of February at the most. That's how the overall, plan will execute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does that make sense, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Just no problem. Okay, so let's stop here at this moment, and I'm going to share this template with you. please go through them. Don't stress yourself out. Have a look at these things whenever you have time. And in the next thing, we will revise the complete SRS. If I'll try to get, if I can get a simple, MOM template as well, so we can, discuss those things, because this looking a bit complicated to me right now. I don't know, but let's see. Okay, and we'll learn step by step. Please don't worry.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
You and
you.
have a
Thank
great
you.
good night, ma'am.
Good night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.